Okay, it's kind of ironic that today I want to talk about just starting with where you're at. And it's ironic that this is what I want to talk about and I'm finding it difficult to start. I have stopped the video quite a few times because I'm like, "Oh, I don't like how this is going. I don't like how it sounds. It's not the way I would, envision it to be." But there's gold in that, you know, there's gold in that, and I'm going to extract that gold right now in this video. So, yesterday we talked about fear. Yesterday, I spoke about the tools that I use to get through fear, to move through fear, because as far as I'm concerned, fear is not going anywhere. However, fear has also been, it has been sort of the wall that has prevented me from taking action on certain things in my life or from becoming versions of myself that I dream of becoming. And a lot of that's been changing for me recently, uh, especially like the last couple of months. I've really been like dialing in on what my relationship with fear looks like and stepping forward to go, okay, this feels terrifying because it's full of uncertainty, but I'm not going to let that stop me. Because the alternative is to stay exactly where I'm at, stagnate, and that's just not an option for me. Uh, if it's not an option for you too, give me a amen. um, so I kind of wanted to talk about why it's important to start where you're at with what you have. As you can see, I am not a professional at this. I don't have a professional background. I just got a stand or a tripod for my phone today, which is pretty cool. But this is something that I'm putting content out there is going to be something that I will learn as I continue to do it. So I'm not a master, I'm not a pro at it, but if I want to become a master or a pro at it, I have to start with where I'm at, which is just embracing that I am not yet that version of myself, but that this version of myself is exactly what I need to be in order to become that other version, right? And as the old cliche goes, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It's about everything that we learn along the way. So, the first thing that I had written down on this journal that I'm gonna not look at. The first thing that I had written down was just accepting where you're at and recognizing that the excuses that you might be telling yourself for why it is you can't yet start something that you've been wanting to start or have the relationship that you desire to have are essentially just blocks that stem from that fear of the unknown. So, something that I would tell myself frequently is that I can't have the partnership that I desire to have, or I can't have the money that I desire to have because I don't have this. I don't have a car to get me to a 9 to 5 job, or I haven't done enough healing. This I told myself this for years. I have not done enough healing to be in a relationship with someone. I am not yet this healed, enlightened being that can handle being in a relationship yet. And then maybe like a month ago, I saw that story very clearly, just kind of glaring at me, and recognized that it was rooted in unworthiness. It's like, where do I think I need to be in order to be worthy of stepping toward or embracing what it is I desire now. So, noticing the excuses that we tell ourselves is absolutely essential in recognizing that those excuses are just fear trying to protect us, because we don't know what lies ahead on the path of becoming a different version of ourselves. I don't know what it looks like to be a content creator, because I'm just not that yet. I haven't fully embodied that. But by kind of stepping into that energy now and saying, I am going to embody this. I am going to become this. This is what I want, and I have exactly what I need right now. I have a phone, and now I have a tripod, and access to the internet. Pretty simple. And I have a shit ton of knowledge on all of the stuff that I've been learning for my own personal development and fulfillment that I'm willing and happy to share. So let go of the excuses. Start with what you have, where you're at now. The second thing that I wrote down is that becoming the version of yourself that you envision becoming requires a sacrifice. And that also plays into the fear. In order for me to be in a loving partnership, I have to sacrifice the version of myself that believes he is unworthy of that and acts out of that unworthiness. If I continue to act like the version of myself that's like, no, I'm not healed, I'm not good enough, I am not ready, well, guess what? My life is going to reflect that unworthiness. I won't have the partnership. And it'll always be pushed off to one day I'll be ready. But that day never comes, because we're never ready. We're never fully ready to make the jump. When you're standing at the edge of a cliff, your toes are hanging over, and you're looking down 10 feet into this lake or the ocean, 15 feet. There's a part of you that's like clenched and like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. This could be death. I don't know what's going to happen, but we could die. I'm not ready. And if we listen to that part of ourselves too much, too often, then we will never jump. We'll never jump. And then we'll never know what the lake feels like, or what it feels like to fall through the air for just a few seconds. Never know. And that's the price we pay for listening to our fear. That's the price I've paid so many times for listening to fear. I never got to know what it would have been like to take certain opportunities. I don't know about you, but I don't want to live life like that. That will torment me. That will torment me. So sacrifice is a part of the journey. Letting go of a version of ourselves or an old identity, an old belief. We are constantly letting go. We're constantly shedding. And it's part of the process. And it is sometimes a very painful part of the process. Sometimes there's a lot of grief involved in letting go, especially when the identity is something that maybe it's all you've known your whole life. I would say, like, my whole life, I've been attached to the identity of scarcity. It's almost hard For so long, it was so hard to imagine a version of myself that wasn't stuck in scarcity, with love, with money. And when I release these versions of myself that I've lived in for as long as I have, grief does come up. And sometimes I have to cry. Sometimes I have to go, wow, I'm kind of dying. Like I will no longer be this version. And it's bittersweet. It's sweet that we get to explore something new. And it's bitter knowing that that was it. That was it. It's over. And there was something beautiful about the scarce version of myself. There was something beautiful about the small version of myself. He got me here. And I couldn't have gotten here without him. So, the third thing that I wrote down, I actually might have to glance for this. Okay, the third thing I wrote down was to give yourself permission as you go along. You know, you're going to learn as you move forward. That is part of the journey. The learning is actually really, really fantastic. I mean, imagine if life was just knowing everything and not having to make any sort of effort toward creating. We just had it all. You had everything right here, right now. You had it all, and there was no learning, there was no growth, there was no quote unquote journey. There was essentially no story. Personally, it defeats the whole purpose of being a human. It defeats the whole purpose. You know, it's because of those mountains that I climbed out there. And those moments where I fell to my knees crying because I was so exhausted and I didn't see any sort of end in sight. It was because of all those moments moments like this one, or moments when I'm with the people that I love, laughing, cooking, telling stories. It just makes them so much richer. That journey, what we perceive to be a journey anyway, is so rich because of all of the contrast, because of the ebbs and the flows, and the dark and the light. I don't know if I would change it. So give yourself permission to learn as you go. I'm learning as I go. I'm sure this video that I'm creating right now and going to be sharing is going to look way different than the video I share 2 months from now. Heck, a year from now. It'll probably be drastically different, and it'll continue to look different. It's going to continue to shift and change. But a year from now, when I'm making another video, I can look back at this video right here, right now, and smile and feel so much gratitude, because this version right here, right now, he just started. And thank God he started. Thank God. So start. What are you waiting for? Fear's never going to give you permission. Fear will never give you the permission that you're looking for to start. It will give you a million excuses. But you're brave. You're courageous. The goal is not to be fearless. It's to become more and more courageous. That's all that I wanted to share today. I appreciate you listening. I look forward to continuing sharing this journey with you, and I'll see you next time.